Welcome to day 3 of 25 days of Christmas. Yesterday, you got the bad news. When Adam and Eve went to the garden, it ruined God's perfect creation. From that moment, sin entered to the world, and we were no longer able to dwell in God's presence. That's the bad news. But the thing about bad news is that it's the bad news that makes the good news so good. And I think it's worth emphasizing again. Each and every one of us are broken. None of us deserve to be in God's presence. And there's nothing we can do to earn that right back. In fact, there's only one person who could do something, and that was God himself. And he had a plan. That's the good news. In fact, this was God's plan from the beginning. How do I know? Right after Adam and Eve sinned, God rebukes them, but he also rebukes Satan. And when he does this, he reveals his plan. In Genesis 3:15, God says to Satan, "I will put enmity between you and the woman, between your offspring and hers, and he will crush your head, but you will bruise his heel." Does that sound like anyone you know? Jesus, of course. Right when Satan had thought he'd won, God comes in and reveals his plan, that Jesus, God himself, would come into the world, not through man, but through the Holy Spirit. I remember when I read this verse and realized its significance for the first time, it changed everything about how I viewed God and the story of God. This verse shows us that God's intent all along, that his plan A was always Jesus. As soon as sin came into the heart of man, God begins to reveal his glorious plan. And we're going to look more at this glorious plan over the next several days. But what a wonderful plan it is. What a wonderful God we serve, that Jesus himself would come to save us.